yabakwa omanso quickly Dr. Makoba wa omanaso na yamana kwaba na nina agina enyinam kane ho nkomo a yebedi na yeba na doc mame mo ache mo akwaba na boko de
yeah me nka say boko de yara
na from ebo campuses ahodo ne office ahodo no bibia e kama
yekuso dum so no kunye na nanso yekuso se dum so anya dum so biom
abasa ne na no na no ene yede hisha abasa obetime agina street light ase ana wo generator obi so ne fichire kane ana se wo bobo wo ho a ana se wo ayi ana nka wo de asua de for the time being to save a situation and they say ade da ho
ene search say na ye Canada ene nyina ye go back to stone age no na che say a solve problem no hu za electricity no kwa ye ntwam obi anso na ne bobo ni hwa na o mo kekanka
enti na on person obeti asese bre a ye womi ewa ahohia bre animanim ye short term media nka bobo ene anyinam kane a ene saa nyoma no betimi aboa
ame pa cho se metimi baby na minim se me wo kane a just say that argument no is so shameful what you say. So if you are not able to do what you are supposed to do, apologize. Now my time frame. Now remember, I say, men can't say there's an alternative to go back to the Stone Age. Now see if you are still doing something.
All right.
When you use electricity, it becomes part and parcel of your life.
Well, Doc, part and parcel no. You better say Abraham so born edi baby na say you know. Ese say odi subo ebo papa anauma.
Aban Abraham no yen mo say you know. Say you know ye dey bu aban dia obia betuma bubi. Na momu si ubetuma ye ntine ye dey ama wo no. Ye gie sika nyina dey ama wo say yem ye hwe ye ni yie. Na ye de ma wo sa wie na beka kye me say me nsan koso bobo dia aban ye tuma wo say dey. Denti ye tuma wo. Wa ho ofa na say zendia.
All right, Dr. Makoba, yen kona nsema ye di aka ne sisi power minister enya anuye e di amaye yen hwese na anuye no eto akoma so ana yen hwe mra sisi a
I wish to assure you that the Ministry of Power is working around the clock to end this current load shedding in the short term and also to implement long-term measures to avoid future recurrence of load shedding. We therefore wish to appeal for your cooperation during these challenging times. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a particular adage which says that the darkest period of the night is the period just before daybreak. We assure you that we are closer to daybreak than we think. 810 megawatts in the year 2008 to 2,845.5 megawatts as we speak today. Projected demand for this week is estimated at 2,109 megawatts. The total available generation is currently 1,494 megawatts peak and 1,338 megawatts off peak respectively. This therefore leaves a deficit in generation capacity on the National Interconnected Transmission Network. As stated earlier, with installed generation capacity of 2,845.5 megawatts, dependable capacity of less than 2,300 megawatts, and a suppressed demand of about 2,130 megawatts with no redundancy, the power inadequacy is obvious. As of today, the following generating units are unavailable. 2 units at Akosombo cannot be operated, while the other 4 can only operate at reduced output of 125 megawatts each, instead of the rated 170 due to low water level. 1 out of 4 units at Pong is out of service for retrofit and also for reasons of low hydrology. Pong units cannot also operate at full installed capacity. We runs 1 unit from 8 a.m. and up to 3 units for the peak period. TAPCO number 2 is limited to 60 megawatts due to high exhaust temperature spread and low tidal temperature. TICO number 2 is down after a system trip, whilst unit number 1 is limited to 80 megawatts due to high exhaust temperature spread on the unit. Senate plant is down for hot gas path inspection. Half of Sonon Asogli plant is down due to contaminated lube oil. These have therefore led to supply inadequacies, leading to the current load shedding that we are experiencing. I wish to assure you that the Ministry of Power is working around the clock to end this current load shedding in the short term and also to implement long-term measures to avoid future recurrence of load shedding. We therefore wish to appeal for your cooperation during these challenging times. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a particular adage which says that the darkest period of the night is the period just before daybreak. We assure you that we are closer to daybreak than we think. Those living at Chimota and Malam, I really, on behalf of the agencies, apologize that we have had to carry a bigger burden than the rest of us in the country. But I've instructed ECG that even if Gridco has to knock out big quantum and therefore these 2 bulk supply points are affected, ECG should go back and then knock off some other areas and restore some of these areas so that their suffering will be mitigated. Yes, I will resign.
Well, as about Doc, me say what in common across no. Hello, Doc. Hello. Unfortunately, I'm Dr. Makoba and Tineke. So I better not say one and then come back quickly. My end are super septic for us and lucky about clinic for us is one of this pension Mujimedi Ebre or Badwam, new face of Badwam on Adom TV, multi TV, the ultimate in terms of a year anopa TV breakfast show. Medoma ine kwabna asante yebehwese yebekoso adi enkomo no na yahwensunsu so a enyinam kane yi de bre eye o man Ghana ni nyumeku ahodo ni ankwankwa enso dwumadi a yedi okwansoro ko nti my text message number 1760 Mensin Kracha 1 Kranza North era agentitu anopay ya chiao munyina mojebre ehwe dawase onso babono mantema oya ode e won Kranza North ekwan hodo a monam so amoye yenyina no yate dawase era agentitu sanso na wam fie so era sebo so aprobo a obo no nyina so no abedu yanim se wo hwema ukro no adeshi wo no ebedi yie ankasa Tano South nso Bukari yate onka sanso na kujina Central Regional Adom botwe ana era aye nana kwabna no mafo munyina mo so de mo ye no yate se de mo bom homodin yie pa mamenyina Central Regional mema chairman for the region and the ruling National Democratic Congress chairman of TJ Consumer Akwaba chairman Akwaba bi abokode I see ODC is for no omo bo adwuma baba readily apart from Adom botwe mo fa say anono constituency anono district ni
Esikumo Robin Brako ana Asen Central Asen South
Doc good morning Bill. But you know what you come on course no
I think we still do too much.
Okay clearly no Oshemudia almost baby ayenya ahwodien free bia no ko fa pon ko fa bui fa tako fa tiko fa soglia minister says challenges about almost all these major
but the minister and I will speak to that.
Okay, speak to that.
And it said minister or no and Ryan Obo as some of the country because we are Minister of Energy account, President account. What is he saying? That is what we have to look at. So the council saying, he should tell us something we didn't know before. Don't come and enumerate what the list power generation we are breaking down. So what? We know all of it. Does he have better information than the president himself? When the president has been promising and promising and promising, and now it's getting worse. He is promising again. That's all he's doing. So, there is that. Do I care whether he resigns or not? It is not important. The important thing is for him to do his job, for the government to do its job. You don't tell people that electricity, this is a difficult time, you should understand. Does business understand? When there is no power, business fail. Should we understand that too? This is not something that can be compromised. No, businesses are failing left and right.
But
what does he say to that?
But Doc, as a misan say unya swafo a obekire e hawa enam suntie du sam pempenso we na osade nhihye ahodo egu akwama ma asanyame ya adom a afi enkwara wiye no na dum so na eho asema brase sa amasa mpo a ode na konwa beto foma enye nkranhye enye awokeka
because you are assuming say odona asema awoka no edi mu chair president asem bibisa only president wants them to do. Does he know more than the president? Is it not the same president who went to Germany 2 weeks ago as saying to ask for help? When he's been promising that that's not a best doom to see a big guy, October will be a game changer. We'll buy your same thing, and now it's getting worse. He is coming to give us more promises. I'm not impressed at all by him promising that if it doesn't work, he will resign. He is supposed to resign if it doesn't work. Who resigns in this government? If you Akramuko, Brazil, will be resign. So what? Let's see the figures on the ground. The things he came to tell us, they are not impressive because we already know these things. These are technical information reserved for the engineers and so forth. Does it change any picture? No.
But
if he told me something new, so for example, I think I call Germany, and they say I won't back for so in the next 3 months, the best to say, then I see there's something new. But don't come and tell us the same old story, couch in sugar coated as he said, you're telling us something new. There's nothing new in what you
Dr. Makoba, apart from the minister, okay, Abayin demonstrating enough measures or the go akwemu said the obaya dum so honsem no ano ebe brasi.
Well, I know there's up to you. Saying I were taking enough measures fine. They were taking enough measures. And after candle the year so yeah. They are the who didn't want to Yamna Mecca. But I say, you man a guno, but taking enough measures what do you mean that the moon change that? The human you know, who can't saying, I can tell you, I had a lot of friends who were microfinance companies, these companies employ and all together and their minimum guano, they would employ at least 1,000 people. What do you tell them? So these people in charge, have they been doing business before for them to be saying things like this? If they have been in business, that's a more very difficult for him to say that. Give us fast. Don't come and plead with us. Because governments that do not plead do your job. That is why you were put there. If the previous government was doing well, and that people would not have voted for you, they thought you would do better. So when you come, don't come and say that if I'm chosen, do the job.
But
he just claimed the president knows all these things. He's giving promises and promises. They're still not working. Now, I know that kind of amendment.
But Abai, most of the time, in as much as our pet Nyoma, I see no quino, some of the responses are buying their bats through the communicators and in the ministers, has been that Senka Abai fish Ukrano, Etua Namombi, Emma, one who Senka say in Equa, Comonso, Twasama, how a few precopeno, Anka, and Yadebe had said, you have football Casenano, Eddie Macania Ban also, Nanamuntun and Shishafa in Namadem Sem, Anko Ye Cramo. In Tiafe no Muso, Etua Namoa, Ebea Fibo Namuntu. And I don't know how do you blame this government for the wars that ACNA, the name Nashasi?
If I told there's a Mahama called Germany, or Jitu said, he is fully responsible for it. But he takes responsibility for it. Government is a continuum. On no more MPP for time, no, there was not this dire need of electricity. Who come in the draft, then you have to see. Why who now the whole thing, and you go happy, go lucky. the party in the year, then Ethiopia and the Obayana, and they do say there is absolutely no excuse. Actually, it's irresponsible for the government to even talk like that. The party say, every people time now that there was no dire need of electricity. Because I can't know electricity and that's the thing. What is he talking about? That is not how it works. They won't at the end of the show. It is Obama, George Bush are starting the war in Afghanistan and Obama Bay. Don't say that, you continue on the debate, then you have to find a way to stop it. And that's continue. But you don't get to explain yourself there, and you want to hear and say this in there. What?
Okay.
We have government officials on your projections. On your pool, the electricity is primary, number one. Number one, share no. Now, what's the one at the end of the world? I've been able to say, we'll be not anything. No more time, near $8. If I told 2008, near $8.
Finally, Doc, maybe I will do you twice in a day. Dear, is you not better was our by here. Nanka, on TV Franca, on only Juma. Now, any many years, here with me, a number of the medium and then the long term solutions.
Well, I don't know. Well, question of my TV, but I make you
correct.
Well, what can we do? Can they know the society? Yes, what can do? Because look, rechargeable light. Who's not saying? Not that. Because the rest of Canadian, we are no water. What could you? If you wish on the next year, as I do, when are you going to recharge it? If you're not going to, and the Lagos students is almost 1 month or 2 generating. I really applaud them. Maybe yes, you should do that too. It means to say, yeah, well, which my you
yeah.
But when citizens start doing that, it says that they have written off the government. It says that the government has become irrelevant. Why do we pay taxes? All these big monies we've talked about, and we are still where we are. How is that possible? I mean, electricity, and some almost constantly Circle Institute, and some almost constantly Kasua Institute, and some all the other political things on we know. That's the case. They be concentrated here solve one problem, and then your politics in one year. Do you think that can be at an improve the thing? I can improve.
All right. Dr. Makoba, I better ask an opinion. He has said, "Would you go with the All right, so Chairman, I mean quickly, Mammy could jam Chrome now. Name Honorable Kwabna Chum near my Brekum East. Me wanna call Bibia Bokodo. Conscious book of Shapa.
Yafipametry.
Because was here Boko.
Adom.
Move a testimony of the advancing the better Ghana agenda.
Oh. Minyesho.
I see. Okay, you better about so. Chairman, Party.
Nala Abasam Nogan. Nala Ochawan. It is on the way forward. Ototo Papado. It is better for him to declare his position as an NPP rep at UST.
Don't go there.
I will go there.
Don't go there.
I will go there.
Don't go there.
He's talking like NPP communicators. You talk as a lecturer.
So
you talk like NPP communicators. He said if you engage your students in political debate, this is the way you will lecture them to go and debate.
Don't go that way.
The way forward. When you are asking the way forward, he has no solution.
No,
just coming and criticizing. Period. Is that how to build a nation? I will come out in sequence. There, look at what he says. He calls himself a lecturer.
Oh,
so you teach your students. That is the way. That is the line of action. When he's lecturing his students, that is the line of action.
How?
Doing somebody's dirty work.
No. Chairman, Mr. He was called in his capacity as a
as a what?
Mr. Wow,
politics. People who cross on school that only politics. Omganjo.
No more kind I want to be.
Mese obi owe krase. Here, look, a situation in time of crisis. We want patriotic citizens who will come out and tell government in the face there, look, this is wrong, this is right, so let's go this way. That's how we do it. Our government is that go on there and criticizing there, about criticizing our condemning. And you see, the line of action is like the way the NPP communicators are saying. Towing the same line. It's not different from NPP communicators. And I want to over TV now.
No more other kind of thing.
Mama Kacho, what is the difference? Always condemning them. What are the solutions? Who MPP are? Show there. Say I'm here, my MPP.
Kasa as an MPP
person.
Oh,
okay, say. Okay, say. No singlet, no MPP singlet. He's talking like MPP communicators. There's no difference between him and the others who talk on behalf of MPP. At least let us be patriotic.
Dr. Bakay.
You mind Mechia send now more in answers. Machia Haluti. Minim semi crum for Brucum for him into Mechio Muninas. One say Aluti. Na Sebi so Obi Kasa se MPP communicator. What is wrong with that? MPP communicators ye Kasa Sebi asema ye kanaya na nyanse ni mwana. Asem na ba minister na Kasa na okasa ye no. Solution be na ode maye. Anope me bakwa na meet ne Captain Smart interview. Captain Smart ebusa no timelines kra mra. Was your man time? Because Captain Smart I'm referring to the previous a predecessor, Emmanuel Amabua ne President Mahama, or Moma timelines and Yejuma. Energy, and year a you magical. A evidence-based action, oh, yeah, you and no press statement, or ye, maybe any war, with you, Madaro, through a sempa, with you, and ye waha, me pese me kutuka krebio, daily a Union time. Or say, Dr. Donko said that in the short term, arrangements were being made to increase the country's generation capacity by about 1,000 megawatts to provide the platform to pursue the medium to long-term solutions. In addition to this, the Ministry of Power, in collaboration with relevant stakeholders, has already made significant progress towards the completion and commissioning of the flowing projects. In the short term, arrangements being made to increase the capacity to 1,000. The arrangements. What are the arrangements are buying to increase? And can be listed in addition to this, what state A, B, and C. Other than a short term, no, on come here who say Ghana for near my say na yaye in a short term. Omahene basic management, your short term, medium term, and a long term. Short term, a period be. And yet within 1 year, medium term, 3 years, long term after 3 years. Omahene Ghana doom so ya wumi. Da ben na doom so ne shase. Enye 22 May na doom so start ya my timetable a yatina doom so mu to the extent say Omampanyi John Mahama taking over as president in 2012. Or can doom so ho asem my date say by 7 December doom so to be 2012. Or sign koye presidential debate or sign kan ho asem say by 2013 doom so will end. The question is Sabanyi any abre a odwen Ghana for ho onim se dum so no ha Ghana for enyo no ene dum so bae because almost say nyom na de ba bibia nyom na de bae na wa ba bi so na from 2012 na dum so no sha ase no ebesi nne 2015 abana ye na dwen se obeso bu dum so na nko so bu ye upeso si planter how many years na tiki 1998 ayenya dum so Ghana ha President Rawlings started say OC Abuaze thermal plant no by 2000 this is 2012 na doom so buy no e na ban ye na adwen say opeso so doom so nti OC plant e de aba be so doom so ke besi 2015 ke nyanye doom so no aban yi age bosia ache aban bi e wa bagana ha sa bosia na oje ye no se nko de bi e ye say ye wo energy problem ti wo de kwa akosolve a nka nyan solve doom so problem no
Tembiana, Yababa Maya litany of ye we, it is any our crow of ye. Na komodino, nani yemu, nani papa bejina ho, oh, my crab maku, my yesi, and then makuna mi dear and cranny, you bet 10 bucks into the makuni bayia, common kubim. The guy is dying of hunger. What are you doing for him? You have a immediate solution to every problem. And say your medium term and long term. Yet your home na debiana a plant way emergency badge be but say ninano a mrane. Solve the problem.
Okay,
Ghanaians are Ghana they see all who say industries. Omahene, can it be say Negana? You do more like 24 hours. Near sort of 12 hours. I'm on 24 hours. How can you survive? O person use rechargeable lamp krana. By the time I will be sorry, and you won't have time to recharge it. And no wonder say encourage me ko da bonten na ntonto mo wi no mu su yade. This is an emergency thing. Why are we behaving as if say there's no problem? Ghana economy no is crashing. No wonder say 2015 the project GDP growth rate no e 3.7% when there was no oil. We are going backward too much because of energy. Masa obi nka say problem ntimu mo but problem ba kwan alpha so solve na me hu how serious you are with the people of Ghana. About you serious for doing so 3 solid years for Christ's sake. What have you been doing? In fear me answer, we have been told one excuse over the other. They say minister say after the end of 2015, doing so now and there every time be a question only akra o manade or trend and sa na ben ho na watwe ko kakra. They are extending the thing small to okay say afi beso yes by the end of the year some badges emergency badges you will come. Nanka first kote or money install. The badges have not arrived. Then say quite a year interview with a PRO of a PURC. Or so you are buying a car but a paperwork be or more a delay kakra. If you are giving timelines, you take all these things into consideration. Master, that thing is unbearable. One will say and say yes in some and cry out because of doing so no move. Nanke Maya, you dream nipa home, you serious. And nobody will even sit down and do any other thing. You can even halt every engagement. No one making sure say doing so no me say. Then some minister of local government or the answers about also move ministry no or kukumasi or kotamale ministry of energy, ministry of power. If they are giving us energy, baby energy be sharing, they should move your ministry there, supervise it. Let us get power generation simple. Yet you can't say abuaze thermal plant, atuabo gas, yenya gas free Nigeria. And see gas and we will solve the doom so. And how long did it take us to finish that atuabo gas plant? Why is you ship will be back? Na yenko na na so mu yitupum ansa na shape na nsenke na ya ma that excuse de ye bebie ni ne ochina adechie saa edu baby kwa say just say interconnection bi keke no kwa it took so long a time when you say any talo kwatna se masa ya ma excuse ene wasa gas pipeline no ship bi akobom engineer bi awu ochina Nigeria for akọ strike nti omo so ma gas the next day ya gas ba fi gas yaba your gas buyer, Satam na akosombo no na ebu fasu. They were even spilling because na aba ene ya ye kwani amane. Pestati says ya akosombo we say ya sabu issue akosombo say air no as another excuse of doing so. 3 solid years for Christ's sake. We say what 3 million term I call long term. Okay. It is not fair. Into omunya mrane no mo ma yehu ne ekọ.
Chemaloke.
What's your best solution? One of the solutions is that import power putting in place power plants.
Mamuzu Mangaza.
Chemaloke.
Mawunati, the man who just would Mawunati, the man who just Zaya can we janasama, Kewuna Morty. I say, Macon fancy. Mawunati, the man who just nti ọtọ wọn keke yo 3 years na from 2012 di ba na dama na ọtị
ase chese
na maka wa asemi ntinti enya akan da dama na ọtị aba solution na obey. Look, we are in crisis. We are in energy crisis. Do you blame the government for it?
Yes.
Just because government has been entrusted with power. But it takes two to tango.
But you're interested with power.
Okay, say, then you know.
No, but
Oh my, okay, say, oh, flow here.
Yes. Maybe I'm a busa on seven.
Enyima, no. Nine, maybe some asam. Oh my, because of doing so, I been create Ministry of Power. I'm a concentration about how to mitigate the problem. As a president, Badwam, Oregon, the president Akadadado, yeah, we should keep on repeating it. And by repeating it in every day, we think of how to find a short-term solution to it. Short-term solution. The Abanzi plant rubber by April or but at least Obobazi Kaka. To them an hour 24 hours, 12 hours. One bill to grab 3 days, near light. 3 days, sometimes 72 hours, near light. Or who for now by Abredo. Maybe at the time, no schoolboy. Near light, 3 days. That's 24 hours, 12 hours. I know there how you manage it to suit your condition. That is how it is. Now, Minister Nabaka, all we need is to support it. Find a way. Obia work connections. Look, there are a lot of IPP for who receive one plant in Aji. And we know that is going to be the long term. Because building a plant doesn't take 1 or 2 years. It takes almost about 3.5 years to build a plant. And see, Abai is doing everything that by 2016 the Muduso issue na resolve. We've been given a mandate. The problem. But how do we manage it? How do we economically manage the doomso? I'm as a nation and you two will sail it through. But for political expediency, I beg that was who I bred on. Yes, he was here one day. He also was a bayan. But it takes all of us to resolve the problem and not the government alone. Are we projecting ourselves? Look, we've been taken over by events. That event has to do with the expansion in the building industry and the type of buildings that we are constructing in this country. High-rising towers. And look at the designs. Look, the remotest village, the hamlet in this country, will be electricity. MPP for rural electrification. When they were having those crises, then their leaders were saying there in Kwasifunu we hear electricity. It is the big towns, the peri-urban and urban towns, no one hear electricity. And so one for more, no one hear grassy. Here policy in there. Here policy in there. Here social democrat. Into our town. Our on my hinny. Okay, on my hinny. I will walk home. I will if he need electricity. The man the woja and then one and gas on will crossing. No so hear electricity. And to look at it, Kokebisa, the year from 2009 to 2015, rural electrification. Mostly yet are core towns and villages. That even includes his own constituency.
Very cool.
Mama Kacho, Ombisa. But look, they also deserve it. Because at the end of the day, the cocoa farmer no one. No cocoa, no beer, no maganiska. And they also deserve electricity. And that's why I'm speaking now. When the president goes to these rural areas, they are calling for an expansion or extension of electricity. Even villages are when you've been grapple, they are demanding for more. And we have to supply them power. And see, this time, we got to be an electricity company. The me area bear 6 hours. No, if you want the me area bear 6 hours. They also deserve it. They also deserve it. Christ is our. Let us all sit down as a nation. How do we manage this? That is what we call bipartisan. Look, the thing is deepening. So what do we do to resolve this matter? GDP growth in Ghana in on to us. Nizo electricity. Yebeya Yazakwa ma obugo ko dibia. Ghanaians will have confidence in politicians. Because Odu one welfare and Nina is here politics. Maka to my advantage. And at the end of the day, Naba for Sun and Ghana in Wenya. That's the American, Maka the Aban, yes. Aban you mean now on all year MPR or parliament. And do so say parliament in when you are there. They have been able to solve their doom so problem at the parliament house. They've gone for generators in jail. Oh no, oh yeah one. But what about the one living in the village?
Some 3 questions.
Bisam.
Who admitted your crisis relating to energy?
I don't know.
Okay, so there in Ebema yetimi a free situation. The point is that rural electrification, when you cannot even feed Nipa who feed you more. But 2 things: is it out of political gain or not getting your priorities right? Ain't power generation to supply Nipa or supply Omodadano. I hell but you are still extending electricity to other villages.
You've signed a social contract with the people.
It is not about that.
Please.
It is about.
You've signed a social contract with the people. You signed a social contract. And do you renege on that contract?
No, but see, Kakasa say, you would here and you would fata. These are 2 clear distinctions. Not denying that. No.
You will support the MPP idea there.
No.
Rural areas
No,
may more electricity.
it is not about that.
No,
but
are you supporting that?
Mibisa question based on your canon.
No,
we have a challenge even generating and making power for all our industries to operate. Now we are rather limited power. No, we are doing an extension.
If you talk about industry, today Minister Norika, this time, VRA and Greco. Why interconnectivity to UCG box supply the point in here until they themselves can take you off. Say UCG, UCG there set 150 megawatts, like what is happening to Achimota and the Malam supply point, because they are the major suppliers so far as Greater Accra is concerned.
That is telling us that
Mamunkasa. Until sometimes, you know what, ECG finds it very difficult to manage the load shedding, because suddenly you are instructed there, take off at the 150 megawatts. So also per your arrangements in there, the main industrial area or there. The period of time when your power. Say, then they will take you off. Do you blame ECG? But what I'm saying, it will take the 3 utilities to sit down: VRA, Greco, and ECG. No one there. Say, industrial areas, say, at night, one fra the CEOs, no, you can sit them down and tell them, okay, you have more power from 6 o'clock till daybreak. Into work, it will be better for them to go for night work rather than day because of these arrangements.
No, he's putting in the
suggestion. I'm telling you, yesterday I was watching something on DSTV.
He was speaking this.
Oh yeah, Undercover America. or yeah, a businessman, we a lot of cinema houses were America, were Florida. Ne dumso. Kakra the light to go off. Kakra the light to go off. And what is the solution to it? Of fra ni directors, ni managers, even to the ordinary worker, foreman bar, or we know, be a fight the embra. And how they solve that problem? You can do the same. America and if you are being Nufa, Amaji, okay.
Okay, so in doing the same, no, now maybe in doing same, no, I was suggesting, now you put a check or a hold to rural electrification.
I'm not talking about a check or a hold to rural electrification.
Because all this is happening. All this is happening, Chairman Pachumba. When you see as a result of crisis, why then do you extend when we cannot reduce supply?
Yeah, and this is for we will extend electricity to every hamlet or Ghana
at the right time.
They deserve it.
No, nobody has said it.
Not at your right time.
Nobody has said. Nobody has said.
Not at your right time.
Nobody has said so.
Let me still emphasize on what I was saying there. How we can prudently manage the supply of power to industries, and it can work. In Ghana, electricity will boom.
Okay, so what a quantity beer more or your person as suggesting is a yenhwe yenye adwuma anajo na awia ne nya mu ma Ghana for addition na industries ne adwuma anajo.
No, what I'm saying there, look, the industries Ghana industries today how it has been planned in Europe and then North America, North Africa. Look, let me use North Africa and even South Africa, for example. Most where you want it, it's like Sphinx Road. Ebune industries were them, residential area were them. Industries in Eco market is at Papa. If you are, it has been so planned. It has been so planned there. Industrial area or they know it as an industrial area. When you go to China, the same thing. China also has to develop in the industry. That is what they also been doing. Opposite the industrial area is the residential area. So you can do it. It is a matter of planning. Kwame Bay or the Temaye industrial area. Yanjin about expansion there. So expand Oboko Kunwa. Sisia Oshetama development as it. Development Corporation has it, though it is in a different district. But the planning, industries in the man, be push obinifie, be push obinifie. So that is the problem. So what do we do?
I see. But
to solve this problem? What do we do?
What's up, man? No,
that is how it is.
No, Doc. Maybe I need to see. But me tennis in the I am. Me concern is say generating power near supply to Ghanaians. A challenge, Maya. Why extending that power that is not there, if not for political reason? Say Ghana welfare there already. No, we have a situation. Will be our rural electrification, which will be any problem there with that extension. But yes, the Jinaho Kakra, near solve problem, ni we need excesses. Yeah, no more baby. It is now people are raising into other arguments. They say, are buying to energy and a challenge there. There are so many projects are buying back on a called channel now, more ding in our energy because a key. It is more raising issues. What do you tell them?
Eyima, ebinom ho wo Ghana ha. Tuma wo hwenti, obonunu nsunu ma nenyo aye ne support.
Deep kakasi tum any there.
Tuma wo hwenti. Obonunu nsunu ma nsunu aye ne support. No we baby say there no ba dey.
One year sir.
Ngofo bi. Ebinom ho nso aye.
Domo ko atifi no ma ba na.
Because they will always want to attack government and not finding a solution or not helping as a citizen. They classify themselves as a group of people so unique and quite different from others.
That's the classification.
Yes, that's the classification. Ne ima, mama kan yenye problem. minister aba also by April Damazi Mezeba na wotum na wa mitigate problem na kakra na mo ontum ko obokwa che 2015 amafu dem ya opponent yara na ye was so many rivers in ja hydroji the botuma adam aya won share the necessary effect that it might have on the environment in terms of flooding and account. And see, when you are faced with such crisis,
consensus building.
You need a peace of mind. You bring stakeholders together, and then you try and solve the problem.
Okay, Doc.
South Africa, yes, they are the best in Africa. We are second to South Africa. Look at what is happening in South Africa.
Doc,
so it's a challenge.
Chairman, make an extension of power to rural areas now voting to say they should hold on. But party in waiting, Adena Muso, is it out of mischief or wanting political power? Ma hold on to crisis now. Na move for suggestions imba, na move for solutions imba. Na hold on to the crisis. Na move by is a very incompetent. About to doom some na one mobile, but you don't give us solutions. But the one mobile because the admission is there that your brain more dimu is not as a result of who are buying and our non buying. You know, you do some pensui. In the end, you tenacity. You she share. You bet you who is near Namkani and let me back near him. But more than any more for fun and more triumph if you move. Why that?
Now, or my and why they can't say, yeah, offer solution. A your one casa, a buying or so unto you be a problem we started. My best,
but more to us. Who do solution to us? Yeah, bar, Doc, a year almost solutions, no almost suggestions, no. Ever to my Yakwaba minute back. Okay, so we are back. Balotelli comes there. Me na me go kaze bulu. Okay, so very much for chiribu akodia kuba ohere adopai ya chiao. Na me adme na nyumre no sia pepepe amamre fie. Obehwe de akoso nyina obehwe full one no. No one who said the nyoma si ko amamre de uhia nti usua no wasua ne ye kasepa. Pese mo be lucky about clinic and a super septic father and a bro. Happy birthday, minority leader, from your wife, and Kuma no Yurankasa, Evelyn Irene, and Wakonta Radio Max chief executive. Omuna say happy birthday, minority leader, honorable chairman Sabonso Arape, Yachia or Kwansron Kosokra. Reverend Gatti, also of Gethsemane Methodist, or Takwa. Also, Jibre, Oshebi, Damuna, Masisama Jibra, Moshe. Well, Doc, now you're kono. Now some of the solutions and suggestions said to her at the my bra to see more. You know, I just to precopese at the how Casiepa and Ebre.
You are my honey. Not me can say, why not? What can say, ye young offer solution. Now, I buy we or no, why not doing saying you be a becker be a unti. Or my honey, no crepe umuni say, Bibi toa. First of all, I was say ujitum say problem ewo. And no unye hu problem na. And the boama hu solution. Aban doom so started 2012. Kwan ben e fast. Beginning yes you a force of nature. A shape will be in a cobble pipeline ne buye. The next day na you see into a obekaya ye a bui baya doom so will end. Obeka say by mama mpanyi kujin across you see the enka say me mamwa kane o no agye so ya mahama. But at the end of the day, the problem is say enam say na aban na nkasa enya nyintu mu enhu issues no. Dum so nye first time yenya bi ni o. 1998 yenya bi. Na akosombo na awe. Yinim anamo a ye 2 year de solve we. 2007 yenya bi. Na akosombo na awe. Yinim immediate steps I take here. Dum so no NDA aye sansos ye medium to long term solutions are. Ema bui baye ema son asogle na asifu nyina baye ye start T3 nom ne ade a ehokra no ye sign ekwaje boss $250 million ane ye de ba be ye dam e wa nkobra nom aban ba so no omuvu so de koye Eastern Corridor route eye ayi aban na nkasa ne prioritization if we say no who ni say ya solve doom so unim say doom so no from 2009 bc 2012 and now ben was no there was no doom so nti more or less no akwere te say sebi anoma bi esise nsuo bo na o se kranko obesi ne dan ne hoho pe na ne refi say o se osi dan na fi wa forget na fi nsuo san to abo ne bi ma na fi wa kai say o se osi ne dan
petere bi obesi ne dan
ha me de say watimi akai abo ne di nti in this crisis now what happened before ubetimu de emergency plans aba and ye nim se bi wo ho na nsen so se yesi bi kura wo ayi VRA they are gathering dust they are rusting away I betumi ayusu aden na this period ya aye den ye hu ni say problem no a generation enye transmission enye distribution a generation problem nti also utimu increase generation no ti bibia o man ne eye den na emra ye hwe work up sa world cup who say ni enum kane dey na buy world cup time ya enum kane anamon be na buy ni 2 year during world cup period of 1 month no yen hu dum so den na bronya yen hu dum so aban yi prefer say obeye populist niema instead so obema industry anya adwuma dey anya me wanwa say alote use excuse o ye the electricity koma rural areas no na sefo masa you can only give what you have. And so nye nokre. Obetimi check history no. MPP baba mu 208. The number of areas are more electricity. Afi aban we ba so electricity or the rural areas nya. Empanyi ku for loan or kwaje from US as in $350 million. And omo dey say adwuma ni nyina. Unim ni esi ye.
Onye true gra.
Na oman hene sene wa kan so ye ni ehia nsa wa ye ne fata. Ne wu ye bia no e wo se wo ye udwin holistically na o de kwa na o pe bia him na o ntena se ya mfa nsan hye o demri fam na you just do anything why a window dressing I feel later there ne beto a o de kwa akohye obi a unua bia na o papa bia se bi wogya ohoko e wo se o so ade num na wo ye sese no ye ni generation ye mpe bimra ya bia yeti se ye ye wi timelines no na agiegu we do not add any agency. How many times na sa atuabo gas plant yes ye complete here yan change completion date one time kra mo ankasa kra fe mo say ade na assessment date na they say mo abre mo nka biem senka na ya ade ehia aban no ye nyina ye ni abre ye pese ye ya definitely all hands will be on deck to finish it nke unka data o za fe plant no ye ba be wia current me say ya na one program o ka say oh nobody should think say atuabo gas plant no will be a panacea to solve our energy crisis. Me want no be aware, but ye nya adwen say your problem ni nyina ne say ye nya enough gas because a lot of Nigeria and my gas say gas ni free atuabo ba wi that's all problem. Na say wo no wo yare na say wo yefru na ye oya na wo do nsa so oti na ye oya na e ma paracetamol I be so wuti na bi ye osa na ye unti ye say ma different medicine paracetamol kwa be kwa ma osa na ye mo a o na be chi so bi wi a wade ofa prumu e na eba na wo bi so ofa mpoma mu na da bia o so wo mpoma na da bia so ba be wi a that is our problem. We should always zero in on the problem because of say ye person ye di ye nka no kra nchire Ghana funti da bia no na ye ni say oh always everything is in control ye ma ye hu ne ekọ we ye ne saa so wo ma me ewu na o ka kire so wo ma me nwu ya ade sa kom ne beku eno na ne ye ne se nka ye jitu mu long time who say our problem is generational and yet because of say Nigeria for my gas and yet because of say gas pipeline be a pie na mum the rate at which a demand and rise no e was yet enough plans to meet it nka by now ya ye be na me catch us say 98 to 2000 yes plant no in 2 years we were able to build a plant until from 2012 no at least you can generate a bit unya full capacity a bit master take akra thank you she bibiase in 2012 and come by now we are almost there in your feni about be can say you started you cut it short normally ade some of the plan kwa na share here no because of political experience nti ni atwam e ho ho ani asan re award ni nyina no you are wasting time And time and tide waits for no money in life. Inti yesi ye me ni bre ni ye jai tembia na ye dia go here and there. Na se utimi enya kanea e me de hwe ball. Utimi nya kanea me di bro nya de a. Industry na omo no e na tuma Ghana fo nya adwuma. Na magana ni so nya bia kona no. Pe kanea ma no mfa nya adwuma na o ma go lay off workers.
Shamalote.
Omani inyuma.
I think so now we are getting closer to
yes.
Yeah.
No. I also will blame Ghanaian bureaucracy when it comes to registering independent power producers. On your small, look at SemPower. SemPower started 2007. Or MPP Abido. Yeah, Angazano. Some laws are why you bottlenecks. Look, I helped SemPower a lot. Since there's another company, Adom Power. There, Jesus Christ, about them, watch not them, about far, about copy URC. And the I was listening to Odige Agwezadai, and he was making sense. But you see, yeah, African system and one private participation in utilities on Yejuma Papa because of our politics and the setting up of our socio-cultural lives. Tambiano, it's like we are each brother's keeper. Tambiano, Mukusanele and Mukusanini. Obinazam, Obinazam. Until Oma, the type of the Western type of the way a man they manage their utilities. They adopt to Africa, but listening to him, he should have been one of the best. There, the company Biba, yeah, la company Nagazana, building great. Ne power lines, na only need distribution. Because Europe, yes, Echo Europa, more easy board. We went on factory inspections, and I am a bisa. Sometimes, technocrats and electrical engineers, we do ask. They own there. If you feel beyond wall or when you meet a buno or share enclosure, into my past power. Yeah, cross now. Probably or use windmill or the manufacture 2 megawatts. Don't know on supply electricity war. I'm telling you, down on supply 2 megawatts. Now when you complete office or when staff, no control rooms, ni bibia. Until you're busy and there on your technical problem, how does it solve it? Also, we are not solve a problem now. They demand because there's a contract. Until at a certain period of time, power should be free. But you can't operate such system in Ghana. You can't operate such system in Ghana. Because they were from Ajazina and Akosomo free. In Yama were so cheap. And that kind of life and still. Oh, in the baby there a big change in the status quo. Hey, obey deja.
All right.
Look at one more example. Look at your transportation system. When you go to Europe, South Africa, and other places, if you go Angola and Mozambique, on your government don't handle transportation system or private companies. But government or the tariff or the bank, say we increase the fuel and they will reduce the fuel or the transporters. What to do? Government will come in. About you onto them. Even in South Africa, in Angola, in Mozambique, onto them. But here West Coast, I didn't position our biasm. Until we are in a dilemma. Now, it should take all of us as citizens of this country, as patriots, they able to you take the bull by the horn. No, let us start this course. Then it becomes a national issue.
Okay. All right. Every national issue then a bit of partisan politics. Now, how we go about it. or text message line here 1760 now they are brain and strategy I can in Adom. Super septic for Adaroma. One a pam and Kabia Fufi now if you want to pam once on interfere in Tatia Fufi and what you know the only organic product for the treatment of human solid waste and the super septic it reduce you or septic tank pit levels. No OPB to add Natural Organics Limited a one chroma cycle and a Veridian shop or Makola Mall or say that the enterprise for Aveno Junction next to Sea Woman now known as this. So first our number 057 589 1266 and our 0244 089 159 and our 020 897 3667 na BBB and and Koso Sounds na lucky about say wanna be one Krabata at Tosongo Share or Tema Community 2 Mono Club a bank Kanya Adom FM no ntino ya de bia da ne crank down so bia no fakodom lucky about for no more kwanso kosokra o hwe na chira kwan ya do ne che gomo ogwa akrom kaso anyi na do kwan so Kanechi First Light on the Accra Academy and a Shenim Kumasi Abripo Junction in between the Total and Shell filling station, Takrade in Crawford Junction, Sunyani Abisim Kwaneso, and Kofroja Old Estate, and on Abun Lucky about clinic now known in South. So Yadebia Okwan Konone, Dr. Noble Stephen Yaboa Jr. and Kasa on 0243 201244 0243 201244 and 0242 758231 na Bibia Intimi Enkoso. Dr. Mahamudu Baumia, Vice Presidential Candidate of the New Patriotic Party for the 2016 elections, has descended heavily on the President Mahama-led National Democratic Congress government. Without mincing words, the renowned economist has described the NDC administration as, and I quote, bad managers of the economy, reiterating that Ghana's economy is in ruins. He observed, from what has been witnessed so far, there is no denial of the fact that the NPP are much better managers of Ghana's economy than the NDC. Dr. Baumia placed Ghana's present economic woes, epitomized in the extreme hardship facing the people, right at the doorstep of the NDC government. He stated pathetically that in the midst of several resources, the NDC administration is still not doing anything practical to deliver the citizenry from their hopeless situation. And according to Dr. Baumia, since the NDC came into power a little over 6 years now, they had mismanaged the affairs of the state and further deepened the economic woes of the ordinary Ghanaian. So that's Dr. Baumia talking. Chairman, I will take clearly, it's in bad taste for the government in power. Now we share it with a smile.
How is it a bad taste? I mean, what do you expect of him?
Is that the reality? It's not about expectation.
That is the typical, and also he's immunizing himself into the Matimu politics.
Dr. Baumia.
Yeah.
I said no cannot eat
that. I know NDC. Now Wabesh MPP. And Nizo is now immunizing himself into the Matimu Domo type of politics.
What is some now?
You know, the August Zimbabwe, General World Bank advisor to Mugabe, or represent Mugabe now in the economy. Okay, see that. Apple solution. Utumu solve Mugabe no problem. Ma ni inflation. Should be oduri. Ma ni Zimbabwe dollar po. Should be oduri. Oh, now I'm making there. Well, we're almost entering into the political arena for our campaigns. Things has to be said in order to vilify a government in power.
We are campaign talk.
Our campaign talk. Our campaign talk. Because the more problem is when he was deputy governor of Bank of Ghana, when you problem CD, no, they worry dominate the city. The nomination of the city, and it has affected our currency to today.
Oh, we nomination exercise.
Oh, 100 no way you know what? On the head to win. Cobrani on the head to win. On the head to win. The confusion even is still there. They are quarter at the bar. And who's there? Adi Otidemo, so Otidemo. See the kaka o Ghana cities. As an impan watch. These are the political decisions that all affect people's lives. We all admit that we are in crisis. And at least, by God's grace, we are coming out of that crisis. Until today, more can there. Nja ogaka ya mo woke there. Obodu bro nya $1 we do 4 cities. Nje we do. For the first time in the history of this country, dollar no jina baby ojina Christmas. Pa. Nje Christmas abroad November December. Na yesike dollar ogwani sin bibiara. But the dollar was so stable. November, December, January, no, I started there or depreciate but 0.4%. Martin, nah, it's an old story. I get there, Congo soldier. Oh, Congo soldier. Of course, Congo, intervention of Congo. Ottawa, Washington, Congo, some. If you know, recapping what has happened previously, but you should appreciate that at least the economy is doing well.
How?
If it's a true guy, no go yet if the economy is so bad and it is at the point of destruction and at the precipice and at the tipping point, Ghana may which you appreciate there. As I was saying, it takes some period of time. And then
what is saying?
Nigeria can one ben or be saying, so yet the bishop. Yet the bishop, you promising workers there. You know, single salary, single spine. Yet it me, if you go to maybe a production to support the salaries of workers. No workers who are from unions or Ghana. And you get to one schedule of Bayasam. As there's one waitress, more there, and then you want them viewer of Bayasam. And then you have politicians who will be supporting all manner of things. And see, we are doing ourselves.
Yeah.
Maybe, that is the country that we are living in.
Political mischief.
Political mischief. But then, if we want to learn democracy, let us look to the white man. They speak one voice. Not that they speak with one voice. They speak one voice. Because it is the interest of the nation. When it is in the interest of the nation, they speak as one people with one common destiny. And they say, Akaka, Aban Amanija, Nkakakra, we are moving on.
Okay.
Look, we've been given a mandate. And that is what the MPP, you see, they are so much in a hurry. There, say, I have to put 2 fisu, no, but 2 from bear. If you do see that, I turn, Wapro and or you green, and now I have to, but you see, we've been given a mandate. We signed a social contract with the people of this country. Okay. No, or they win your taxi. The man in 2012, free SHS. Was your BR in Ghana there? MPP will win elections here. The dynamics of Ghanaian politics in MPP want taxi. And it's unfortunate there. But we are also we pay to go down Kaka.
I see.
Or to then another for the worker Bunasuma.
You are unable to substantiate that the outcast is here.
I'm not able to substantiate what. No, as I'm already. No, what is new about what he has said? No, what is new about
are you saying that Badwam on his own
cannot
think on his own?
No, what is new? What is new? What is new about what he has said?
What is new?
What is new about it?
Okay, Dr. Nyama, What is new?
He's recapping what he has previously said.
What is new?
Probably
my main concern was he stated pathetically that in the midst of several resources, the NDC administration is still not doing anything practical to deliver the citizenry from their hopeless situation. What is new?
Dr. Baumia, ni dibre, minimsa lutenimse Zimbabwe inya economic crisis. Dr. Baumia, ena yedene koho so nko boa Zimbabwe and okoho jumadi papa odi wo ho no nyina no. Eye open secret we enye alute aname nti o man he no betumi akwa akocheke Zimbabwe. Just go.
No inflation.
Aye. Corona Kocheki after 2008. Dr. Baumia Eko Zimbabwe period that Zimbabwe nya sa galloping inflation no. Se na nye before 2008 Google ubehu. Na me de se papa yi se ade wi enye new. Next say susuampa from 2009 ban ebaso so obeka year 2008 omo be far economy no na it grow by 8.4%. Emma 2011 unse ho na ye chase abrofu we unprecedented meboa economy no kukuru ya kudru 14%. It was to them they say it was the best performing economy in Africa. Unprecedented. Unse President Mills ban odi kan de brofu bi profligate expenditure e buy e no ne brofo a yete no na liter unprecedented so be kan ho enti asembusa no ne se e de ben ni si a ye dati ye nia na economy a na ye unprecedented economy se no abu nkutudwa sesi a lutise ye ne ye chance ye no mo so be se ye free ho no ye ma 8.4% to ana me boa wo so buy no yes I okay ana want wo buy no you were able to move from 8.4% no to 14%. Nti ye den na sisi ye afi we kura no with oil no aban yi target ne say so grow by 3.7%. Ye ko enima na say ye ko yechi and evidence also busa ne say niema ben ne kire say economy no eyeyi no wantumi anka bibi ankyero ebi so ono ankasa nim say economy enko yi eye den watumi aka kyem say adwumayefo akatua wutua momo no nti ena ma economy ni nko yi akatua nko ade ma adwumayefo no enya ade o mani so last year one to akatua mu so wa momo kula 10%. Afi also be momo 13%. No wadi kan shikola na gu 10 no na cheze in effect no wa momo just 3%.
For their flat
3% so ade amom this year inflation no atra 17%. In effect no what na ketua na say what na ketua so this is the problem Ghana for akatua fo nyina efesi omo pension kura aban ntua private person ntua pension Georgia Goodinum na yachi omo atu na aban tie be mi nka tie 2 tie 1 more than 600 million Ghana cedis aban ntua na ayi senate boss esi o aban amano letter say obetua na ada na private employers and ya mo mo sa akonya so mo so ntimu ncho letter so ombetua na sa otimu di Ghana for car to the extent say omo pension kura no ntua tie 2 no kura de nyamba ho eno no so ye aban adwumani na nkasa ne sika kura aban age so ono no professor see up to today e wo court a worker see e pesi ehu ye sika say oho anase ni ho. What is going on? Sa economy we there. Mutu, and the only solution is say abano alote they are in their 7th year. Aka fene kakrabina 8 years no. Aso agrosu beso a if we are no pa. Decision na Ghana for you taking in 2009. I start 2012. Anye ye eti se ne wakodwa so kwakodidwa. Ye ko en ka ne ye ko boy. Nti ye o say ye sesa yensa. Na ye koton ade foforo 2016 e wo se Ghana funye science se ne ma edi ko dwa so no ye ka e ne edi abrenti yen science ne mfa ade foforo nkudwa so na ye nkunya eno no se ne affairs wo ko ya onya profit a onya 8.4% no ye san ko be nya profit nti wure fi na akofa ye nchi yen san kofa MPP ne ye kofa ba ahoto ebeba.
Minute be ngotwe be page me baba. Chairman, me ba. Chairman, me ba.
Oh. When you bring your hot over there.
Chairman, me ba.
Not wrong.
Minute be ngotwe e be page mu e wo bedwam jumedies 0302211701 up to 4. But your specific issues I discuss one now become wasem na bibi etimako kama 0302211701 up to 4 na odin 7. But what the bigger picture of saying you might be close down e nipa be di afi shift system no ye amount for a few mile and opanko and say wianko na yimenko. What is just so edindumadu dey ba there.
And we are challenged. We are facing these challenges.
Abani is helpless and not clueless.
Aban is not helpless, is not clueless. That is the new language. MB what can hear? Political dictionary.
So helpless and clueless.
One before was happening. That is going to be their campaign for 2016. But I'm telling you, this year, most of the problems will be solved.
This year.
Because we've laid the foundation for solving all these problems. Yes, it is true, like you say. We are man for few Abana so one franco. We are creating an army of unemployed. But we are setting our priorities right. We are diversing into various areas. In a matter of months, to create a whole lot of job employment. Mebuna wenye na yan kase pi I was a bankasa and say one quarter dama, but we are putting things in place. Very soon we will see the results of it. To them, last year, their priority was on agriculture. And there's been web on our own. Now, Ofi Domain. Oh, na Ofi Brekum. Brekum, Ginny, Azebe, Azeba,
Okay.
Close your eyes.
Better part of your discussion, but wrap up with 0302211701 up to 4. Na MPGM 0302211701 up to 4. Yeah.
Ghana and Kanko. Nenye noane abatu. I say alutene inyano indis. There be omo kasa. Ena elections. Ena China 2012 mulusi na 2016. The development of Ghana is not just based on elections. Ye pese minor enkonenim. Sebi ye to abama na oba na wa mfa nyehwe a. Na there na why. The emphasis should not be on elections. That is why you see a good leader is the one that thinks about the next generation and not the next election. And that's what they always do. By 2016,
the government has been given a mandate. Yes, you are not part of that government.
Lay the good foundation. It's by the
people for the people.
They say,
you don't believe that you are part of governance. You are quite different.
Now,
so do they solving a problem. The people who vote against us.
Okay,
solve the problem.
Former MC in Prince Donyina or say, once again, my position on the current state of affairs has been vindicated. Chairman Olete and his party are only concerned about winning elections, so power will be taken away from where it is needed for production purposes to areas where they will get votes, hence the apartheid in the distribution system. There are places in Ghana where doomsday never occurs, and once the NDC are assured of getting the votes in those areas, the expansion of electricity into those areas will continue. Chairman, you guys should put Ghana first to Honorable President, former MC.
And this ya for electricity and got your bodoma. In your bed and ono need fear no waste one. Obey electricity.
Okay.
Ya for electricity and got jima. In your bed and once or what one.
I want to tell Chairman Adom for me that he should stop door to door. No MPP member ever said that the rural areas don't deserve electricity. Kufuor's government connected most of the rural areas. Okay, so
the facts are there. 19 years of PNDC, NDC, the number of areas from the it's there.
Okay. All right, so it was here, Chairman.
The constituency, or see me home the light coy. My village is my constituency. I do me and NDC from 2009 by village bakope no mo dibi akoba ne domeabra obeka ho anyinesu uko katu nche ho no 2012 when she that transformer ku si ho SIC post ye to be omo tutu post ni nyina asan yi transformer na fi ho enti enyom electricity obi anim ni MPP here but the point is say you cannot give what you don't have. Look for the electricity and give it out. Obi and PNDC na de koye one line bo PNDC na de ko brekum 1991 na PNDC electricity ko brekum
na ba obey 8 years we extension bo wa yebi extension bo wa yebi
Emma awotwa uterus ano no ene e friend cervix enti se unya cancer e wo ho a eno na ye ne cervical cancer na ye one of the cancers a e common eno ene breast cancer ene taha emma pa.
Okay, so some common na na ya befu bedi ene na me
all the educating young man so all you was a do she share too much on your
the draw show
pa we said
can in the name say rentian suicide for
them offending bo
not minimum wo
mindset
be say as a fee bi ho I also ohoro ho and unfortunately na say nkofu bi so na some person mo ton nuru nti no mo ya advertisement or say o di bibi eku ohoro ho nom ne ade nyame na aye
ebidial atasamna ne jeni ana afi detol ana suicide for we say na kekedu ana ne nku ahodo enye
amwa nyame na ahyehye eho no bibia wo ho nkakra enti se wo koyi bibi kofa ho na ukosesa composition na the problem bebre ebebrel na cancer nso ne hia pa ne se wo yo ba na umfie kwa ni mu kakra wo se wo ye screening minim se nense hospitals bebre ya ukoye no regularly a se statia e bit me minim se na ya ba kwan e fa so ba risk factors ni nyina no.
But Chama, is it because yes you a taste and the man so rashes
aya ma wan dream more ye one me pedaz no ye tight mamukun or enjoy. I mean these are the mindset.
So taste near one of the reasons.
No, and there me aya be vuzu aya na wenyi me vu wenyi gaga no work on my farmer no aya na ma me wezu was what better way there get this
nyankopon eho elasticity wo ho
okay
enti bribia no etwekura ebesan aba enti enisa ya yenuano ma no on se o ton nro on be kika so wanya
eho no abana ye titare
na wo dia hye otim se e wo se okoto na obi e
oba ma ko mo die ebinim so wo pegirogiro die mu ye
no why you pa in there them in the tonful name is the phone confi if in the when you connect ma www.okonfu.org it's up
but
in some to say radio stations do babia e was a moboa o say me health committee food and drugs authority and I was say o check sa nyama nyina e make sure say nka advertisement bia fa enru ho ebeba radio so na nka o ma vet na se mbusan ne say omu wa kwanya omutimi hwe ni nyina na say advert no so ba radio stations na mo check ehu say saa nipa no wagye
there should be censorship and I agree on that but chairman ebe di mema nkomo akiri mema so dan say ye taste nso amama no so tumika bia emwo mo o say ne ma team di no me bi hye omo mpokua no mo di no bi hye omo harum say nyina ye ntia enti bire be na efi normal taste ni traditional taste no to artificial taste and let's say careful about that yes we don't buy a conference and I agree for a culture. What do you do? Dr. Joma, CP. 80 years, Jabi adventure on the chair.